Here, how would you describe this experience that you've had just being in Chicago, getting a chance to be here at Christian, Brett?
It's been fun. I guess I didn't really know what to expect. It wasn't certainly not like a life-changing thing. I mean, we drove ourselves down here. We got here late and then kind of waited around all morning. I did homework. You know, I'm going to do more homework after this when we drive home.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest thing is, you know, staying in a cool hotel. I think somebody told me this is the hotel where they shot The Fugitive, the last scene with Richard Kimball and all that. So that's kind of cool. You know, and just meeting some of the other players, that's been cool too.
You talk about meeting the other players. Is there somebody from other schools that you found yourself like talking to, getting along with?
Yeah, last night we just ended up talking to the guys from Michigan. They were in the hospitality room, so we just kind of hung out with them for a couple hours.
And as far as being here with Christian and Brett, like, I guess, what are some things about them that maybe fans wouldn't necessarily know because they just see them on the field? They aren't around them every day like you would be.
Oh yeah, that's tough because they are who they are to me, obviously. But you know, Brett's probably somebody that's maybe more a little conservative, right? So like. You know, he doesn't like the big city.
Yeah.
He won't be afraid to tell you that. Whereas Chris is probably the opposite. You know, he comes from St. Louis, and you know, he's more of a city guy. So you know, he has all these things he wants to do, but you know, obviously we're only here one night. You know, you can't do everything. So.
Right.
But that's maybe just a little side to them that people might not know.
I know last year was obviously a forgetful season with you guys going 4-8, but did you find yourself kind of thinking back to the win over Northern Illinois when you got in here?
Not really. I mean, I think that was a good win for us, but you know, that was a close game too. But no, not really. Nothing particularly about the city. Maybe I guess I remember, you know, coming in on a team bus before and just seeing the cityscape, and what have you. But no, it wasn't like deja vu or anything.
Do you like having a game like that again this year where you start out with them and they're coming off the season that they had, and you know, maybe it gets the players' attention more as you're going through workouts and things?
Yeah, I think that's how it should be. You know, I've never been crazy about what people would call, you know, tune-up games. It's a poor way to say it.
Right.
But I think, you know, on paper when they scheduled the game, maybe the administrators and the coaches weren't anticipating Northern Illinois being what they are. That's a credit to them. But I think that's how it should be. I think there should be big games, you know, and the more big games, the better. You know, why not?
You like the fact that you got it at Kinnick this year?
Yeah, I do. I mean, playing at Soldier Field was cool, but the quality of the field, you know, this is much publicized, but it's not a nice playing surface, you know, and I think at that time too they had kept the grass really high because they wanted to keep it in good condition for the Bears, you know, so when we played on it, it wasn't a great place physically to play at, but it's a cool stadium, you know, cool experience playing in an NFL stadium. You know, not a lot of guys are going to be able to say that, so that's cool, but playing in Kinnick's pretty nice.
James, can you talk a little bit about the Wisconsin back on the schedule after a few years off winning the
Sure. I mean, last time we played them was my freshman year. That was a close game then, and they went to the Rose Bowl then too. But you know, they're obviously, we share a border with them, or at least in the corner, and I think it's going to be good for us, you know, to play against them because in a lot of ways I think that they're a program that, from a fan's perspective, they look a lot like us, right? You know, I think we're more alike than we are different, and that's nice, you know, obviously. So I think maybe there's some familiarity there, even though we haven't played them. You know, we feel like there's some familiarity, but you know, there's also, it's a trophy game, it's a rivalry game, so I think it's good for us, and I think it's good for Wisconsin, you know, that we're playing together.
Seem different not having Wisconsin on the schedule for those years?
Not really.
I know you have rivalries with other schools, but
yeah, our plate was still pretty full, you know, so not having to play, you know, the last 3 Rose Bowl teams, obviously, that probably helped us. Last 2, excuse me. Yeah, our plate was full even without it.
James.
Okay, thank you.
James, when you think back on where you were when you first got to Iowa and then where you are today, where do you feel you've made the most strides as a football player?
Probably just the mental aspect and, you know, an understanding of the game. just general football knowledge. I mean, obviously the physical development, that's going to happen. You got to try to not make it happen. It's just that part. But the mental aspect, I think you get in what you put out. And I feel like I put a good amount in, and I feel like I've grown a lot in that area, and that's helped me. And I've even grown this past off season, so hopefully that's going to help me even more this coming season.
Does it make it more exciting for you when you know that you got another opportunity to play alongside guys like Christian and Anthony again, like you did last year?
Yeah, it does. It's my last season. I want to make it count. There's no second chances after this. It's sort of your last hurrah, the last audition, and excuse me, just ate breakfast. But yeah, they're great guys to play with. We just get everybody on the same page. Then you can play with a lot of confidence out there when you have guys like that have your back.
When you look back at this past spring, how did it having Coach Reed around change things for you, as far as like maybe getting you to did he get you to see a different side of the game that maybe you never thought about before, or is there things that maybe he pointed out that you find are going to be helpful to you now going into this year?
There's lots of things like that, but it just kind of comes in bits and pieces. It's never really anything huge. When Coach Reed got here, obviously, I'd been in town like a week and a half. I don't know what it was, but so there was still him trying to learn our system,
right.
And, us trying to improve, and we're kind of going through the same thing together. But the biggest thing with him was just bringing a new perspective. Being a coordinator, being a coach in the NFL. He's been around a lot of football, and the things you said, obviously, just little things here and there that you just kind of add to your toolbox, right? You got your toolbox of skills, and you pick up on different things from different coaches. And Coach Reed's certainly the same way. Having transition from Coach Wilson to Coach Wood to Coach Reed, you learn different things from each of them.
Thanks a lot.